Shalom and welcome to another in our series of podcasts from Temple Beth Am, a dynamic center for conservative Judaism in Los Angeles. This is Meditation and Mindfulness with Rabbi Adam Kligfeld.
Hello, good morning to those who are here in my office in Temple Beth Am, to those who are here on Zoom. Hello to anyone who's joining on Facebook Live, and hello to anyone who's listening to this on the Temple Beth Am podcast. It is the 33rd day of the Omer. So the calendar calls it Lag BaOmer, which we're not going to get into. But if we stay on track for our 7x7 grid, we always do these meditations on Fridays, and this year Friday will always be the fifth day of that week, and we finally got into the fifth day of the fifth week, right? Which once you start playing that grid and you get to the subset of the week that is the same name as the week, you can talk yourself into a labyrinth. But I think there's some meat here today. So the fifth week, anyone remember what day we've been doing all year, all Omer? Hod, because the fifth level is Hod. Hod is one of those Hebrew words that in conventional Hebrew means splendor or glory. In Kabbalistic Hebrew, it means humility. Why it means humility is interesting. The Kabbalists, I think, saw in the word Hod that which was probably not etymologically connected to it, which is hoda'ah, which is gratitude, and gratitude really is a stance of just humility and appreciation for what you have, even though the actual etymology of Hod is something different. But Hod in the Kabbalah, Hod through the Sfirot, is perhaps the humility you have to exhibit in order to experience the splendor of the divine. So maybe that's the connection. So we've been doing the Hod of Gvura and the Hod of Tiferet and the Hod of Netzach. And today we're in the Hod of Hod. Right? It begins to sound like a nursery rhyme. There are two basic ways to understand or to try to make sense of the humility of humility. And they're actually in opposite directions. One way to understand the humility of humility is not to overdo your humility. Right? Do humility humbly. Don't be so obvious. You know the joke. Like, look who thinks he's nothing. Do you all know that joke? I'll tell the joke afterwards, right? Don't be so obvious in preening about your exceedingly low, obsequious humility that just actually turned into haughtiness. That's one way of doing Hod Shebahod. You've been humble all week. Okay, now try to be humble humbly. Don't be boastfully humble. But there's another way of doing it, which is you've attempted humility, but you've held back. You've done humility, but you've underdone it, not overdone it. Maybe this is the day that you finally get to the starkest. Someone's joining. Maybe today is when you get to the starkest aspect of your humility, which is hard to get to, right? It's hard to get to in stage one because you're so proud of your humility that you want everyone to know about it. That's the first one. It's hard to get to in stage two because it's hard to make yourself small. It's hard to be truly humble. If it were easy, it wouldn't be an aspiration that people work hard at, right? So, on the one hand, what is stopping you in the first category of being humble but not talking about it? Being humble but not having anyone need to notice it. Being humble because it's the right way to be in the world. Or, stage two, what's stopping you from going one step lower? To needing even less, to being prideful even less, to actually seeing yourself as just a receptacle of the goodness of others. So either of those two, I think, is actually a worthy thing to meditate on, even though, as I began, the worthiest thing to meditate on is nothing. Right? The worthiest thing to meditate on is nothing, just self, soul. But because sometimes we need like a slide into the pool, right? Perhaps this can be a slide into the pool, that on this day of Hod Shebahod, the humility of humility. What's my bigger challenge? Is my bigger challenge being humble and being okay without bragging about my humility? Or is my bigger challenge in humility actually being humble and not trying to have a defense mechanism that stops me from getting to that place? Okay. And all of this is about character development. And none of us ever graduates this course. We're always sophomores, right? We're always a year and a half into a 4-year diploma in this stuff. So it makes life confounding and wonderful, different and interesting every day. With that in mind, if you haven't already, I invite you to close your eyes. Feel your body transform as you descend into a safe, comfortable, protected, pillowy place where you can let everything go. Release all the muscles that don't have to be working at this moment, that don't have to be clenched. Your toes might be clenched right now. Let them go. Your hamstrings, the back of your legs, may be tight for no reason. Just release them. Sense that even your eyes, your eyelids are tight and clenched and working. Just let them yield to gravity as you yield to this moment. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And if you want, you can do nothing else but count or keep track or dance upon those breaths, hearing your own mind say, I know that I am breathing in. I know that I am breathing out. That may be all I know or all that I need to know right now. I know that I am breathing in. I know that I am breathing out. And then it's just in that empty, cleared out, simple but hard zone. Operate. Not just humility, but the humility of humility. Being humble, but in the humblest of ways. We can fail at Hod Shebahod by overdoing our humility, needing people to see it, almost playing a part that's no longer real. And we can underdo our humility, preventing ourselves from getting to the core, modest place that is the essence of Hod. The 5th day of the 5th week of the Omer. Hod Shebahod. What is my humility challenge? What is stopping me at Hod and interrupting my arriving at Hod Shebahod? Is it me? I feel like to arrive at Hod Shebahod just for a second, because it's hard to sustain. Humility without posting about it. Humility without wondering what you've surrendered. The humblest of humilities. Hod Shebahod. The goal is to emerge and ascend without leaving it completely behind. You can take some of where you were, put it in a pouch, and have it be with you through your day. I'll share the closing meditation prayer, which we'll say 3 times together. May we and all beings have happiness in the causes of happiness. May we all be free of suffering in the cause of suffering. May we all experience true happiness that has no taint of suffering. May we live in great equanimity, free from burdening attachment to loved ones and contempt for others, but rather with compassion for all. May we and all beings have happiness in the causes of happiness. May we all be free of suffering in the causes of suffering. May we all experience true happiness that has no taint of suffering. And may we live in great equanimity, free from burdening attachment to loved ones and contempt for others, but rather with compassion for all. May we and all beings have happiness in the causes of happiness. May we all be free of suffering in the causes of suffering. May we all experience true happiness that has no taint of suffering. May we live in great equanimity, free from burdening attachment to loved ones and contempt for others, but rather with compassion for all. I wish all of you, all of us, Shalom, Namaste, Shabbat Shalom.
You have been listening to another in our series of podcasts from Temple Beth Am, a dynamic center for conservative Judaism in Los Angeles. If you enjoy these podcasts, we invite you to write a review on the Apple Podcast site or wherever you get your podcasts. For more information about Temple Beth Am Los Angeles, go to tbala.org.